ritratti dell'opera di Pechino e dell'opera Kunci, iscritti nella lista dell'UNESCO.
And governed alike with the principles and with efficient leadership both in the government.
Ομοιότητες δεν έχει σχέση με την πραγματικότητα. Είναι δύο και είναι ένα, τρεις είναι, άρα είναι σύσταση και συμμορία.
This project is sponsored by PCBWay. This year, PCBWay is organizing the 11th batch design contest from March 1st to April 31st.
The PCBWay 11th batch design contest is here! Let's make your batch design a reality, and for a chance to win $500 in cash plus $300 with coupon. Design a badge using PCB, PCB plus assembly, PCB plus 3D printing, or similar methods featuring PCBWay and the number 11. Send it to sponsor@pcbway.com.
This contest is more than competition, it's a celebration of 11 years of innovation and chance to dream about the boundless possibilities ahead with PCBWay. Hello? Software-defined radio is a radio communication system where components that have traditionally been implemented in hardware are instead implemented by means of software on a computer or embedded system. This flexibility allows SDR to be highly versatile and adaptable to different communication standards and frequencies. In one of my previous videos, I describe a way to make a simple SDR radio on P-terminal 7-inch all-in-one module Raspberry Pi and RTLSDR V4 dongle. This time I will present you probably the simplest way to make an SDR radio on Raspberry Pi development board with an RTLSDR USB stick or SDRPlay, which are actually most often used by shortwave listeners due to their relatively low price and excellent features. In fact, the manual installation of drivers and applications on the Raspberry Pi platform, which by the way uses a modified Linux distribution, can be very complex, especially for those who are not very familiar with working with Linux operating systems. Fortunately, there is an open source project called OpenWebRX where you can download a complete pre-configured Raspberry Pi image with drivers and the application installed. Specifically this time I will use extended version of OpenWebRX developed by Stanislav LZ2SLL, which contains more useful add-ons, and notice the method I describe is identical for both versions. The main difference between the previously described SDR receivers and this one is the fact that now we will be able to use the SDR radio from any PC that is in the local network via web browser. Even with a simple additional setup, we can access the receiver from anywhere in the world, but this time it will not be the subject of consideration. The installation process is extremely simple and I will try to describe it in detail below. First of all, about the hardware. For this project we need a Raspberry Pi 4 or 5 development board, a microSD card with a capacity of 32 GB or more, and one of the free supported SDR devices, RTLSDR, SDRPlay or AirSpy HF+. First we need to download the image from the OpenWebRX Plus website. This is the image. Save. Then we need to download the Raspberry Pi Imager application, which will be used to install the image on an SD card. This is the Raspberry Pi Imager application. Now we select the device. In my case, Raspberry Pi 5. And then we select the storage on which the image will be installed. And finally, we select the operating system, selecting the Use Custom option, and select the image that we downloaded previously from the given address. Now it is desirable to perform some custom operating system settings. Edit settings. Here we enter username and password. Then we go to set wireless LAN credential. And local settings. Then we go to services and check enable SSH option. Now we press yes and wait for the installation to complete. The installation of SD card takes a few minutes after we insert the card into Raspberry Pi. Now we start the operating system for the first time, during which it will reboot several times. Now we need to log in with the previously defined username and password. Now we need to create an admin user for the OpenWebRX software according to the given instructions. Sudo OpenWebRX admin, add user, and name of the user will be again admin. Now we will create also password for the OpenWebRX software. At the top of the screen you can see the IP address. That this device has obtained on the local network. In our case this is 192.168.100.50. And this is the complete installation procedure. From this moment we can use the SDR radio from any computer in the local network via a web browser by entering this address. The next time you turn on the Raspberry Pi, you don't need a monitor because the software starts automatically. Let's try out the functionality of the SDR radio on a PC in the local network. This is the Windows PC. As we see now, we have only RTLSDR dongle connected to the Raspberry Pi. I just want to briefly show you some of the options of the OpenWebRX software. First we enter IP address, and that is it. We start OpenWebRX. This is the main display with a huge waterfall screen, and in the right corner there is a section for settings of radio options. I will now choose shortwave broadband 41 meter. Here we can select one of the many modes for demodulating analog and digital signals. First we need to create multiple profiles for different frequency ranges where we want to receive the signals. These are sample profiles. For this purpose we go to settings, put the username and password, select the device that is currently connected. So this is RTLSDR device, and create a profile. Here we create a profile. I create shortwave 41 meters shortwave broadband profile with center frequency of 7 MHz and AM demodulation. Unfortunately, the bandwidth in this case is much smaller compared to the one with locally installed software, but this is the limitation, so that the SDR radio can be used by multiple users simultaneously and via the web.
La frequenza in questa
Constantly trying to find unique ways of raising the standard of living. So used everywhere. I mean, the language part, yes. Like.
And now, at least for me, the biggest advantage of this receiver is the ability to directly decode a huge number of digital signals. Namely, when receiving a certain type of digital signals, for example SSTV, slow scan TV. This is not SSTV signal, but it would be here. When you choose for decoding, for example SSTV, a section appears on the lower left part of the PC, where the signal is directly decoded without the use of special software for that purpose. Or for example, DRM signal. Or other weather signals and other type of signals.
Improve the lives of everybody. For people who groups on or otherwise travel to Xinjiang, well, Xinjiang gets a lot more
To
income.
confirm the claim of simplicity and universality of this project, I now connect my SDRPlay radio instead of RTLSDR. Now I will choose some mode, for example SDRPlay 40 meters. As you can see, no additional configuration is required and SDRPlay works immediately after the first turn on. Let's pick some station. Unfortunately, signal is very weak now. As you can see, almost all popular SDRs can be connected to this software. Below I will present you with several short video sequences of receiving and decoding various radio signals.
arrintaas oo lagu 600 oo Falastiiniin ah sida lagu sheegay qaybta
programming Witcock ayaa dib u dhigay Witcock ayaa dib u dhigay socdaalkiisii
istiyorum. Bir ömür boyu çay içecekseler demiş biri.
5 dakika 10 dakika.
Launched many a local warlord from the province. To national exit.
Simbolo classico della musica nazionale cinese che ha attirato l'attenzione e l'amore nel mondo. Che si tratti dell'opera di Pechino e dell'opera Kunchu, iscritti nella lista dell'UNESCO.
And governed alike with the principles and with efficient leadership both in the government and in the national assembly.
ότι ο μειώτης δεν έχει σχέση με την πραγματικότητα. Είναι 2 και είναι 1, 3 είναι, άρα είναι σύσταση και συμμορία. Κατάλαβες, φίλε μου, που εσποσύνονται οι γιάπτες.
Μα πέτανε από τις πλευρές του περιπληξιάζεται, Πανώρε. Και το χαμόμηλο, ή τη βουζογάκι το και το χαμόμηλο.
And finally, a short conclusion. Unlike my previous SDR radio projects, this is a special case where we have a Raspberry Pi development board with SDR hardware which functions as a web server, and the radio is accessed via web browser from any PC that is part of the same local network or with additional settings from anywhere in the world. Just to mention that we can also run this software locally on a Raspberry Pi desktop distribution, but more on that later maybe in my next project.